Hi everybody, it's January 5th, 2026. Uh, One thing that I've noticed is brink fatigue. Brink fatigue happens when you're constantly at the edge of a new part of your life. It could be initialized by financial crisis or financial situations, relationship situations where the person is you're involved with going forward is unclear, or it could be environmental, where the environment around you is pushing you or tearing you between two ways in a crossroad. And whatever it may be, you have to make a decision whether to go forward and remedy the situation or to walk away or to stay with the situation and deal with it as it is until further notice. And so going through this constant precipice where you can either go 3 or 4 different directions, you start to get fatigued. It's brink fatigue. You start to get worn out mentally, emotionally, and maybe even drained even physically, because the stress of the situation of this decision you have to make, or this impasse that is confounding you, that is blocking your thoughts, that is tainting your emotions. This situation is pushing you and causing structural tension upon you almost daily. So when you get to this brink fatigue, the best thing to do is to either go in and remedy the situation, walk away, as I said, or live with it and figure it out. But the best thing to do is to make a decision and go through with it. And once you start making decisions and going through with it, the brink fatigue dissipates rather quickly. And you can see that fugue state that you're in, that cloudy state of judgment, that the clouded path in front of you or around you, you will see that was the whole purpose of that brink fatigue. It was the brink fatigue to wear you down and to confuse you and to cloud your judgment and mystify rather straightforward and rather simple things. So that's how you get over brink fatigue, is that you make a decision and follow through with it. And that's a great skill in life to have, because at the moment you make a decision, you're expecting that your intuition, you're expecting that your mental thrust, that your drive is correct, and you believe that you need to be correct in order to follow through with that decision. But that's not the case. The decision making and the power behind that commitment to something that you have thought up, something that arose in your spirit, that is what you need to do to get out of brink fatigue and to get out of confusion and set your path straight forward, or wherever you need to go. And so this gets me to thinking about constant mental apocalypses. By that I mean mental apocalypse could be the birth of mental utopia or the birth of a mental destruction. And so you come into these points in your life where outside may look completely normal to everybody else. Outside, you're a normal person, you're functioning normally. And then inside, what you thought was true came to its demise. What you thought was true about yourself eroded and exploded and is now in pieces in front of you. What you thought about somebody that you were close to is over now and is decimated inside. What you thought was true about your past is completely false. And so you get to these mental apocalypses that keep on happening. And once you find that you go through them, you find that the effects on your personality, the effects on your character, are the ones that stay, are the ones that persist for a little bit. And the best way to deal with constant mental apocalypses is to separate yourself from your thoughts, separate yourself from your emotions, watch the inner reality and watch what happens. And once you separate yourself a little bit, how do you separate yourself from your thoughts and emotions? That's a good skill to have, and it's kind of confounded way to, or complex way to talk about it. But separating yourself from your thoughts and your emotions is almost like simply just listening to your thoughts and not letting them just pass and influence you immediately, but listen to your thoughts. What are they saying? It's almost like listening to somebody on TV or somebody in a song. What are they saying? What does this mean to me? What do my thoughts mean to me? What does this emotion that I'm feeling mean to me, instead of what is telling me it means? What does it actually mean? What effects is it having on me? And so once you start to break that fourth wall of your emotions and your thoughts, you start to separate yourself from immediate reactions, knee-jerk reactions to situations that are only internal and that have no particular outcome except for how you choose to act upon them. And a second way to deal with constant mental apocalypses is to be a student of time, and not just the time, how time passes, how you go through a day, or how you spend your time, or where you spend your time. Getting a temporal compass takes an assessment of spans in your inner reality. It starts by breaking them down in chunks. Like when you were in your 20s, for example, when you were in your 20s, try to remember how chunks of what happened and how you dealt with them, and how did time feel? How did time move? What effect did time have on you in your 20s, now that it's different when you're in your 30s? So you start to break down the concept of time when you compare it in chunks to how you are in your present and how you relate to time in your present. And when you start to conceptualize the way that time moves, you begin to understand that these mental apocalypses are only blips on the timeline, are only emotional dramatics that are blown out of proportion and are there for you to learn from and there for you to withstand and to grow from. And the third way to deal with constant mental apocalypses is to disarm it by readily collecting the truths that it produced. Because many times in an explosion, internally, mentally, or emotionally, many times in this explosion, there are scraps of truth that sprout out of the ground, that fall from the sky, that come into your awareness. And the normal reaction you will take is to discard this whole apocalypse and move on from it and run away from it as if you are scared. But if you can collect the truths from these internal explosions, the truths that they produce are actually maps and legends and keys to future developments that are going to prosper you, that are going to heal you, that are going to inform you. So our thing is, like, we avoid conflict internally and externally, but the best thinkers usually glean truth from disasters. So I hope this helps. Thanks.